Hi everyone, I am Kenneth A. Dakusay and I will be your professor for today. So before we proceed for our main topic, let's start our day with a prayer. May I ask Miss Isabel to lead our prayer? Thank you. Okay class, let's close our eyes and bow our heads and feel the presence of the Lord. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you, Ms. Isabel, for that wonderful prayer. Okay, class. So before we proceed to the discussion for today's lesson, I have prepared an activity for you all. I have here different kinds of words that are listed in columns, and I want you to read it out loud. These words are related to the main topic for today's lesson. So we're going to start with Mr. Kyle. Kyle, can you read the first column? Thank you. So, for the next column, may I call Miss Isabel? Thank you, Miss Isabel. So, for the next column, can I call, how about Miss Julia? Please read the third column. Thank you for your participation. So for the last column, may I call Mr. Steven? Please read the last column. Thank you very much. Okay class, so our activity does not end there. After reading different kinds of words that are listed in the column, I want you to answer a couple of questions that I have prepared in order to determine whether you have prior knowledge about the main topic for today's lesson. So the first question is, what did you observe or what have you noticed about the words that I have provided? May I call Mr. Christian? Yes. Okay class, so the second question is, after reading the words in the columns, what do you think or do you have any idea what will be the main topic for today's lesson? Yes, Miss Isabel. Correct, that's it. Thank you, Miss Isabel. Okay class, so Miss Isabel is correct, but we are going to be more specific. So what we'll be discussing for today's lesson is about rhyme in poetry. We're going to discuss different rhyming schemes and different types of rhyme. So before we proceed to the discussion, of course it is important for us to know what is the meaning of rhyme. So is there anyone who could tell me the meaning of rhyme? Yes, Mr. Kai. Okay, thank you for your answer. Okay class, so Kyle's answer is also correct. Rhyme means having the same sound at the end of the word. Okay, so let's proceed. Let's take a look at the PowerPoint presentation. If we're going to talk about rhyme, rhyme is the use of corresponding sounds in lines of writing. Take note that we are talking about rhyme in poetry, right? So it is important class to remember that rhyme does not only occur at the end of the word or the line, but it can also be found in the middle. So later on, we are going to discuss about that topic. So I will give you an example of the rhyme that has corresponding sounds at the end of the line. So an example is, the moon shines so bright, it's like the sun in the night. So the corresponding, the words that has corresponding sounds at the end of the line is are the words bright and night. Okay, so that's an example for corresponding sounds at the ends of the line. Okay. Okay class, so let's proceed for the next topic. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is different rhyming schemes. So the first different rhyming schemes is alternate rhyming scheme. Okay, so may I call Miss Julian to read what is an alternate rhyming scheme? Okay, thank you. That's it. So alternate rhyming scheme has the pattern of ABAB. Okay, so later on I will give you an example. I will show you an example of poetry that uses alternate rhyming scheme. Okay. Okay, class. So the next one is triplet rhyming scheme. May I call Mr. Christian to read what is a triplet rhyming scheme? Okay, thank you. So, as you can see, guys, this type of rhyming schemes are very easy to understand, right? So, if we're going to talk about triplet, it uses the pattern of AAA or triple A. So, it will be easy if to identify if the poetry is using a triplet rhyming scheme or not, right? Okay, class. So, the next rhyming scheme that we are going to talk about is a couplet rhyming scheme. So, may I ask Miss Isabel to read what is a couplet rhyming scheme? Thank you very much. So, as you can see, guys, it is just like the triplet triplet rhyming scheme, right? So it is very to understand because it only uses the pattern of AA or double A. Okay, so let's proceed. So the next one is ballad. May I call Mr. Kyle? Please read what is a ballad. Okay, thank you. So that's it, guys. If we're going to talk about ballad, it uses a pattern of ABAB, BCBC. Okay, so it will be easier for you to determine whether the poetry is using a ballad type of scheme. So it is usually in 3 stanzas. Okay, so the next one is Shakespearean sonnet. So this one is slightly complicated type of rhyming scheme. So let's may I call again Miss Isabel. Can you read about the Shakespearean sonnet? Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm very sure all of you class are curious what is an iambic pentameter. Okay, so if we're going to talk about iambic pentameter, it is a line of writing that consists 10 syllables. It has a specific pattern of unstressed syllables followed by stressed syllables, or short syllables followed by long syllables. Okay, so if we're going to talk about Shakespearean sonnet, it has the pattern of ABAB, CD, EF, and GG. Okay, so that's the pattern of Shakespearean sonnet. It is a type of rhyming schemes that are slightly complicated. Okay. Okay, class. So here are some examples of poetry that uses different rhyming schemes. So the first one is alternate rhyming scheme. It is a poetry entitled Neither Out Far Nor In Deep by Robert Frost. So as you can see, it uses the rhyming scheme. It uses the pattern of ABAB. So the first and third line uses the word land and sand, which is rhyming with each other. So and the second and fourth line uses the word day and way, which is also rhyming with each other. Okay, so that's the alternate rhyming scheme. Okay, class. So the next example is a poetry entitled Upon Julius' Clothes by Robert Herrick. So this type of poetry uses a triplet rhyming scheme. So it is very obvious that it uses the pattern of A, and A, or triple A. So this poetry uses the words goes, flows, and clothes, which rhymes to each other. So that's the poetry that uses triplet rhyming schemes. Okay, so the next example is a poetry entitled Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Zouis. So this type of poetry uses a couplet rhyming scheme. Okay, so take note, guys, if we're going to talk about couplet rhyming scheme, it is not limited with only a pattern of AA, right? So as you can see, it uses this poetry uses a pattern of AA and BP. So the first and second line uses the word there and everywhere, which is which rhymes with each other. Okay, so the third and fourth line uses the word ham and am, which also rhymes with each other. Okay, so this type of poetry uses a couplet rhyming scheme. Okay class, so the next example is a poetry entitled Ballad of Modest Confession by Hilaire Belloc. So this type of poetry uses a ballad rhyming scheme. Okay, so as you can see, it uses the pattern of AB, AB, BC, BC, and BC, BC. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, this type of poetry or this type of rhyming scheme is most commonly used in 3 stanzas. Okay, so it is obvious that it uses this type of poetry is written in 3 stanzas. Okay class, so the last example that I'm going to show you is a poetry entitled Sonnet 18 by William Shakespeare. So this type of poetry, as you can see, uses a Shakespearean sonnet type of rhyming scheme, right? So if we're going to look at the poetry, it uses the pattern of AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, and GG, which is the pattern in Shakespearean sonnet. So this proves that this kind of poetry uses the Shakespearean sonnet rhyming scheme. Okay class, so the next topic that we're going to talk about is common types of rhyme. So I have here 3 common types of rhyme. So the first one is full rhyme. So may I ask Miss Isabel, can you please read what is what is the first common type of rhyme? Thank you very much. So as you can see guys, if we're going to talk about full rhyme, it uses same syllables and assonance. So assonance, if we're talking about assonance, it means it is the repetition of vowel sounds within 2 or more words within a line. So example is ace, base, lace. So as you can see, it has the same syllable which uses 1 syllable, and it also uses the same repetition of vowel sounds within the words. Okay, so that is full rhyme. Okay class, so the next common type of rhyme is half rhyme. Okay, so may I call Miss Julian, can you please read what is a half rhyme? Thank you very much. So as you can see here guys, the word bald and held are examples of half rhyme. So how the word bald and held are almost similar to each other, right? But they are different in assonance. They have different vowels, so that makes them half rhyme. So the other example is long and swing, which is also almost similar to each other, but they also have different assonance, or they have different vowel within their words. And take note that the words long and swing have also different numbers of syllables, so that makes them half rhyme. Okay. Okay class, so the last common type of rhyme is called internal rhyme. May I ask Miss Julian, can you please read what is internal rhyme? Thank you very much. So class, if you will remember, I have stated earlier that the corresponding sounds in lines of writing can also be found in the middle of the lines. So that is what internal rhymes are. Okay, so if we're going to look at the example given, I went to town to buy a gown. I took the car, it wasn't far. So the words that rhyme with the gown is the word town, and the word that rhymes with far is the word car. So if we will observe carefully, we will see that those words appeared in the middle of the lines instead of appearing in the end of the sentence or the lines. So that is what internal rhymes are. So that's it. That's all for the common types of rhymes. So do you have any questions? None? Okay, thank you very much. Okay class, so we will proceed with the process called evaluation now. So I have prepared 2 activities for you. So I just want you to familiarize with the usage of rhyming scheme in poetry. So this is not that very hard. I will give you 10 minutes, and I will provide you a poetry entitled Stopping by Woods in a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. And all you have to do is read it silently and read it by yourself. Then after that, I will explain the instructions for the second activity. Okay, so good luck and do your best. Okay class, so the last activity that I will give you is called rhyming. So I want you to provide 4 words that has the same rhyme with the words that I have given. Okay, so the subject of this activity is friends. So the 4 words that I have given is the personalities and characteristics of my friends. So I want you to provide words, and it doesn't need to be related with the subject of this activity. All you have to do is provide words that has the same rhyme of the words that I have given. Okay, so good luck and do your best. Okay class, so I want you to participate with this kind of activity. So let's start with Mr. Kyle. Can you please tell me the words that you have chosen that rhymes with the word kind? Thank you very much. So how about Miss Isabel? Can you please tell me the words that you have chosen that rhymes with the word reliable? Very good, thank you very much. So how about Mr. Christian? Can you please tell me the word that you have chosen, words that you have chosen that rhymes with the word loud? Okay, thank you very much. So for the last word, may I call Miss Julian? Okay, so can you please tell me the words that you have chosen that rhymes with the word cheerful? Very good class. Okay, thank you for your participation. So I have an announcement. I will still give you an assignment. It is not that hard. It is very easy. I just want you to create a poetry. Okay, so a poetry. Your work should show the usage of different kinds of rhyming scheme and different types of rhyme. Okay, so the deadline will be next week. So you will have lots of time to do it. Good luck and do your best. That's all for today's class. I hope you learned something from Mr. Kenneth A. Dahusen. Thank you very much and have a great day.